All right, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be looking at, well, I think you could call it a pretty important document, right?
Oh, yeah, I'd say so.
The Ten Commandments, straight out of the book of Exodus.
That's right.
And I mean, think about it. These have had a massive impact on history, on culture, even on people who aren't, religious at all. So we're going to be pulling out some of those core ideas, some of the principles, and maybe some stuff you wouldn't expect from, something this old.
Absolutely. What we've got here is way more than just an old religious text, right? It's something that keeps shaping how we think about right and wrong, law, all that. And yeah, we definitely want to explore what makes it so powerful and long-lasting, for all of us.
So right off the bat, the first couple lines are really something. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Bam! It's stating authority, but it's an authority that's tied to freeing the people. What stands out to you in that opening?
Well, the thing is, the commandments don't just show up out of nowhere. They start by talking about something God did like, this huge action of setting people free. And that establishes a connection, a feeling of, I guess, gratitude and obligation, even before you get to any rules.
Right. It's like setting the scene. Right.
Exactly. It's powerful framing.
Yeah, totally. And then you get to the first four, which are all about this one God. Like, you shall have no other gods before me. And then the one everyone knows about, no idols, like no creating images to worship.
And if you think about it, that was radical back then. Anything in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below, like they're shutting down all those polytheistic traditions, right, that focus on just one God, one you can't even represent, is huge in how religion developed. It starts to make people think about the divine in a bit more abstract way. And then the warning about misusing God's name shows you just how much reverence they expected.
For sure. And then you've got the Sabbath. 6 days work, seventh day, everybody rests. Family, servants, even animals, foreigners, everyone. And they link that right back to the creation story. So what's the big idea there?
Well, it's revolutionary, right? The idea that life has this rhythm to it. It's not just about stopping work. It's about recognizing a divine order. And everyone gets that right to rest, no matter who they are, what their status is. It's about balance, a need for balance. And I think that really speaks to people, even today.
Yeah, it does. Then we shift to relationships between people, like honor your parents. And there's actually a promise there, long life. And then the big no-nos. Murder, adultery, stealing, lying in court. Those are pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, those are like the bedrock of any society that wants to function, right? But then you get to the 10th one, and things get interesting. No coveting. Not your neighbor's house, wife, servants, animals, anything. It's going deeper, right? It's about what's inside you, not just what you do.
It's getting at the root of how people act, not just stopping someone from actually stealing, but stopping them from even wanting to take what isn't theirs.
Exactly.
And then we see how people react to this huge display of like divine power, thunder, lightning. They're terrified, right? And they want Moses to be the go-between.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't you be scared? It's overwhelming power, And asking for Moses, it shows how humans need someone to mediate, to help them deal with something so big and powerful. And what Moses says is important too. This presence is meant to make people feel a healthy fear, a real reverence, so they don't do wrong.
Right. Then we hear again, no idols, no gods made of silver or gold. And then the instructions on altars, simple earth ones, or uncut stones, no tools, and no steps leading up to them. What's going on with those instructions?
Like they're saying, keep it simple. No fancy human stuff, no risk of messing with the sacred, and no steps. Maybe it's about humility, approaching the divine without getting too high up, and maybe even avoiding any accidental, exposure.
So for everyone listening, what should they be taking away from all this? We've got this unique relationship built on being set free, the total focus on this one God and no idols, the importance of rest, and these big rules for how we treat each other, even going as far as our thoughts, plus that initial encounter with the divine and those specific ways to worship that came after.
Yeah, and it really makes you think, even if you don't follow this specific religion, how do those ancient ideas about loyalty, respect, managing what you want, even the need for rest, how do they show up in our ethics today, in how we try to live together? It's worth considering how these really old principles are still shaping our world.
Definitely something to think about. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, keep diving.
Take care.